March is now upon us, which means we're in the third month of the year. But it also means it's time for my February monthly wrap. Welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. Let's go! Yes, hello, and welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. I am, of course, Mr. Francy, and I'm truly honoured that you've once again chosen to join me today as I discuss my February monthly wrap, all the books that I read in the month of February. And let me tell you, it was quite an interesting month. With me now exclusively reading cozy mysteries, there was a little bit of a change up to my originally planned and scheduled TBR, but ever since I got onto this train, I have not wanted to get off. It's been a really fun ride. With that in mind, we are still going to check out my favourite thing when it comes to monthly wraps, and that is the stats. So let's put them up on the screen in 3, 2, 1, go. For the month of February, I read a total of 8 books, and I shelved a book. Naturally, all 8 of those books were cozy mysteries. Because they were, naturally, all 8 of them were adult books. To my, page count, and I read 3 3/4 tomes, 3 half tomes, and 2 novellas, totaling 2,864 pages. To my star ratings, and I had 3 5 stars, 4 4 stars, and 1 3 star. So, there you go. Alright, so we're going to first of all talk about the book that I shelved, and that was this book, Last Light by Terry Blackstock. I made it this far, which is 184 pages in, the beginning of chapter 33? Yes, 33. And the only reason I DNF'd this book was because I am now exclusively reading cozy mysteries. I was buddy reading this book with my dear friend Elizabeth from the booktuber channel Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm glad that Elizabeth was okay with it. But yeah, for what I read, it was great. So then, let's talk about the books that I did read in the month of February. And the first book that I completed in the month of February 2025 was this book, Once Upon a Grind by Cleo Coyle. This is book number 14, I had to check, yes, book number 14 in the Coffee House Mystery series. It is an adult cozy mystery. They all are. Let's save ourselves some time. They're all adult cozy mysteries unless I state otherwise. And I gave this book 4 stars. So, what can I say? The series premise for this one is that we follow Claire Cosi. Prior to book 1, Claire was married to a guy named Matteo. Matteo's mother's name is Madame. It's not her name, but that's what they call her, and there are reasons why she very much holds herself as a Madame, and I love her. Anyway, so Madame used to run the Village Blend back in her day, and then she decided to give the Village Blend to both Matteo and Claire. Claire and Matteo, also prior to book number 1, did divorce, but they have 2 kids, or one? I'm confusing another series. 1 child, Joy, which is fantastic. But anyway, my point is that Claire runs the cafe side of things. Matteo does all that outsourcing stuff, so he'll go overseas to go and get the beans and things like that. In this particular book, it's Fairy Tale Week in New York City, and Claire Cosi has given her coffee truck a Jack and the Beanstalk makeover for the Central Park Festival. Her ex-husband has contributed a bag of African coffee beans with alleged magical properties, and his octogenarian mother is giving out readings of the grinds. But Claire remains skeptical until she receives a vision that helps her find a young model's body in the park's woods. Yeah, so this was a really fun read. I have had some ups and downs with this series, I'm not going to lie. Some of the books I thought were fantastic, some of them I thought were rather average, but on the whole, getting up to this point, as I say, this is book 14, I have to say on the whole, I absolutely love this series, and it stands out as the top tier cozy mystery series for me. One thing that did let me down was that at the end of this book, a change comes about that is going to affect, at least moving forward, for the short term at the very least, with this series, and it's not going to be a minor change either. I really struggled emotionally it took me a very long time to process the fact that this change has happened. I don't think it's cozy to do this change. So yeah, I really struggle with that. And so based on the change and not liking the change, I deducted a full star because I felt it was worth that deduction. But I do highly recommend the series, and if you're up to this one and you're wondering whether or not to give it a go, I highly recommend it. It really, until that last section, it was the last 2 pages, until then, it was a 5-star read for me. The next book that I completed in February was this book, Silent Nights Are Murder by Libby Klein. This is book number 9 in the Poppy McAllister Cozy Mystery series, and I gave this book a total of 4 stars, but I must stress it was a high 4 stars. The basic setup for this series is that we are following Poppy McAllister and her aunt Ginny, who are running a B&B in Cape May in New Jersey. I only just worked that out because I wanted to know where it was set and did not know it was in New Jersey, and now I do. So there you go. So the setup for this one is, ever since Thanksgiving, when an engagement ring in a velvet box and no gift tag was left behind, Poppy and her pals have been left with an unsolved mystery. But at least this mystery isn't the kind that involves murder. That all changes when the body of a fish supplier is discovered in the kitchen of her ex's restaurant, and he's frozen, not fresh. I love that premise. Anyway, so yeah, look. This was really, really, really fantastic. It was very Christmassy, very much Christmas themed. I love the cozy side. I love Poppy as a character. I love her cat, Sir Figaro Newton. He is so much fun. I tell you, Figaro Newton is a diva and a half, but I love him so much. And her Aunt Ginny is... I say this with so much love. She is crazy in the best way. In the best way. She just comes up with these random ideas and things happen. The ending of this book, and, okay, I'll be real, going back about 30 pages or so, but round there, mark, towards the end of the book, was really fantastic. We get this massive reveal, for the entire series as a whole rather than just the book, and oh my goodness, really huge moment, and I was very, very, very happy about that. I will say this though, the reason why the book receives a very high 4-star rating as opposed to 5 is the length. I was absolutely feeling it. This does not mean that cozy mysteries can't be long and that I enjoy the length, but what I'm finding with the Poppy McAllister series is that I do feel the length. And the next book that I read was this book, When the Grits Hit the Fan. We will say that one more time because it'll be the last time I say it on this channel. When the Grits Hit the Fan. Boom! I don't have to say that title anymore. I am so happy. Woo! I really struggled to say that title. I don't struggle with titles, but with this one, it was just really hard to do. Anyway, this is... I didn't check the number, sorry. Book number 3 in the Country Store Cozy Mystery Series. I'm so sorry. I should have been a whole lot more prepared there. In the Country Store Mystery Series by Maddie Day. And I gave this book a total of 4 stars. So, the series premise or setup for this one is that we follow Robbie, who runs a country store. This series is set in South Lick in Indiana. So, the premise of this particular one is, despite the bitter winter in South Lick, Indiana, business is still hot as Robbie Jordan's restaurant. But when another murder rattles the small town, can Robbie defrost the motives of a cold-blooded killer? So, I'm just going to read my thoughts here because I don't remember much from this one, but I did enjoy it. I just have a real soft spot for this series. It's incredibly hard to pinpoint specific reasons as to why. Yeah, see? Don't remember much about specifics. Other than to say it's extremely cozy. Robbie, as our MC, is arguably one of the kindest characters I've ever met in any book ever also. The mystery wasn't something I cared too much for, so I docked a star there, but otherwise this book has simply continued my love for the series as a whole. If you are looking for a really comforting read that truly feels like coming back home each time you pick up the next book, I highly advise turning to this series. 4 stars for this one. The next book that I read before I decided to go all exclusively cozy, but this book kind of helped cement that idea. This book was not on my SAS list. When I finished this book, it went onto my SAS list because I loved it that much. I can't highly recommend this first book, because I haven't read the rest yet, enough. It is called A Magical Cat mystery series. Book number 1 is called Curiosity Thrilled the Cat, and it is by Sophie Kelly. Oh my goodness. If you are looking for a cozy mystery, don't look past this one. This was so extremely cozy. I love this book so much, and I am reading book number 2 as it's planned for, the second book that I read in March. So I am very, 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 very excited if you can't tell. Okay, so as this is book 1, rather than saying the series premise, I'll tell you the book's premise. So, when librarian Kathleen Paulson moved to Mayville Heights in Minnesota, she had no idea that 2 strays would nuzzle their way into her life. Owen is a tabby with a catnip addiction, and Hercules is a stocky tuxedo cat who shares Kathleen's fondness for Barry Manilow. But beyond all the fur and purrs, there's something more to these felines. When murder interrupts Mayville's music festival, Kathleen finds herself the prime suspect. More stunning is her realization that Owen and Hercules are magical, and she's relying on their skills to solve a perfect murder. Just very quickly, I don't think that is a spoiler, because the series title is literally called A Magical Cats Mystery Series. So, a special shout out to my dear friends Jane and Sherry. Jane has been recommending this series to me for years. Thank you, Jane. And both Jane and Sherry have been chatting with me about book 1, and which Jane and Sherry, I cannot wait. I need more, and I need it now. It is so good. The town feels extremely cozy, and the inhabitants of the town are delightful. I cannot wait to pick up book number 2. A high 5, overwhelming 5-star rating for this book. If you want a cozy mystery, cozy mystery, you need to pick up this one. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. Unless you are someone who doesn't like cats. Well, from the series title, you can see it wouldn't be for you. But if you don't mind, or you love cats and you want a cozy mystery, pick up this book. I can't recommend it enough. It was so amazing. And so the next book that I picked up was this one, Cheddar Late Than Dead by Linda Riley. This is book number 3 in the Grilled Cheese Cozy Mystery series, otherwise entitled the series that Linda Riley writes for Mr. Francy. Because I just cannot fault this series. Okay, so I just did some research. It's set in Balsam Dell, but it's not saying what state Balsam Dell is in. It's somewhere in America. There you go. So the premise of this one, winter in Balsam Dell is a snowy affair, and to add in some cheer after the holidays, Carly's former classmate, Clarissa Tadeo, is hosting her extravagant bridal shower. Oh yeah. Sometimes I will not remember a certain specific story because I read so many, but yeah, the moment I read that, yeah. So her friend, the series premise is that Carly in Balsam Dell runs a grilled cheese eatery. And it's really fun, extremely culinary, and as I say, I enjoy every single book. 5 stars for absolutely everything, cozy side and mystery side. In this specific one, her friend comes in because she's getting married and she's about to have a bridal shower, and another friend of this, so what's her name, just to make life a lot easier for me? Clarissa. So, Riley? Carly is our main character in this series. One of Carly's friends, Clarissa, is getting married. Another one of Clarissa's friends is there with her. And apparently some plans she had made for the bridal shower are not going through, and Clarissa is being a bridezilla and a half. Let me tell you. It's just like, whoa. Even Carly's going in her mind internally going, whoa, what is she doing? So anyway, Clarissa ends up asking if Carly can save the day by catering her bridal shower and Carly ends up agreeing, and while she is there, certain things go down that lead to a mystery. The culinary side was really, really fun. I love the idea of a bridal shower that serves grilled cheeses, and the way that Carly did it, it wasn't your standard slap dab, here's a grilled cheese. She, decorated it and made it all nice and whatever, and it just sounded amazing. The mystery inside the manor, mansion, whatever it was, that's what I pictured it as, a manor or a mansion, was really, really intriguing, as Linda Riley's mysteries always are with me. I just absolutely loved it. I highly recommend the series as a whole for both the cozy, which is culinary side, as well as the mystery. I just can't fault Linda Riley with this series. I just can't. 5 overwhelming stars from me. Next up is a new series for me, and that was the first book in the Inn at Holiday Bay Cozy Mystery series. Book number 1 is called Boxes in the Basement. We have the adorable dog and an adorable cat on the cover, and I'm so sorry, I'm trying to not show the glare. There we go. How adorable is that? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so this is book number 1, as I say, in the Inn at Holiday Bay Cozy Mystery series by Kathy Daly, and I gave book number 1, I believe it was 4 stars. Yes, I did. Have an in-joke where I remembered it was called Boxes something, and so I referred on my Discord to it as the Boxes and Boxes book, and then it also became the Boxes and Boxes series, and I gave the Boxes and Boxes series book 1 4 stars. So the basic setup of this one is that we are following our protagonist, whose name is Abby Sullivan. Abby has gone through a horrible backstory. From what I've been told, Kathy Daly does not shy away from extremely horrible backstories. But anyway, this one wasn't good. I'm not going to go into it. Anyway, because of that horrible backstory, Abby decides to move from, I think it's California, to Holiday Bay in Maine. I love my cozies in Maine, where she has purchased a house that she has options to do things with. This house is like really, really big. So again, could be like a mansion or a manor. And ultimately, she decides to turn it into a B&B. There is an existing mystery that's already going on before Abby arrives. I was a bit confused by that, but once I worked it out, it made sense. So there was an existing mystery going on in Holiday Bay in Maine before Abby arrived. Once she arrived, she ends up getting motivated to try and solve this particular mystery, which was intriguing as well. Here's the thing, book number 1 is extremely slow-paced, but I liked that. I'm not normally a slow-paced reader, but what I loved about this being slow-paced is it had me very grounded and centered in this world, and I cannot wait to get on to book number 2. I just thought it was just so much fun. I love the characters, I love the setting, I love this world, and I need Letters in the Library, book number 2 now, but it's going to be the last book I read in March, so it is what it is, but I can't wait to get on to book number 2. 4 stars. Next up is Revenge is Sweet by Kay George. This is book number 1 in the, is it called Vintage something? Vintage Sweets Cozy Mystery series, and I gave this book 3 stars. So I'll tell you the premise quickly and then very quickly tell you my thoughts because we are fast running out of time. In this series we follow Tally Holt, who runs an old-fashioned sweet shop called Tally's Old Time Sweets in Fredericksburg in Texas. In this particular book, the local handyman Gene Faust is found dead in Tally's kitchen, stabbed with Tally's bestie Yolanda's scissors. Yolanda works next door. She knows her bestie didn't do it, so it's a race against the clock to solve the crime and determine who did. Honestly, it was a very average read for me. I really enjoyed it at the beginning, as the cozy side was well fleshed out, and it was fun seeing Tally in the old-fashioned sweet shop, but before long it became all about the mystery, and it wasn't an intriguing mystery for me, and less focused on the sweets. Also, I felt like I still didn't know who Tally and Yolanda were as people by the end of the book. So, for me, I am happy to leave it there after book 1, but if you love your cozies to be more mystery-leaning, then this may be the book for you. But for me, 3 stars. And the final book that I read in the month of February was a bit of a change-up for me. It was Dead to the Last Drop by Cleo Coyle, book number 15 in the Coffee House Mystery series. I did not plan to read this as the last book, but the book I did plan to read was not yet out on audio, so I switched the two. And now I won't read a Coffee House Cozy in March, but I will read the next one in April. So anyway, in this one, Claire meets the president's daughter, who has come to perform at the Village Blend under a different name. This leads Claire to get to know the presidential family. They seem like nice people, but is there more going on than meets the eye? This was definitely more mystery leaning, but I absolutely loved the mystery. Everything about the presidential family. Even there was a moment where she had to go through security to get in to talk to the first lady, and that was really interesting. Like, the intricate details that Cleo Coyle provides in her books make her mysteries incredibly fascinating. Even though this was incredibly mystery leaning, I still gave it an overwhelming 5 stars. Now, the change. I'm sure you're wondering, but Mr. Francy, how did you do with the change? The change of it all. You threw away a star for the change. Honestly, I didn't mind it. I think that the change is going to go back. It seems like how things were going towards the end of the book, that the change is going to revert back to what it was, and it will do that soon. But I didn't mind it because it provided the opportunity for a fantastic mystery that we may not have had this change not occurred. So as much as I was not for the change, I was for the change in this book because it really worked. 5 stars, an overwhelming 5 stars. I loved this book from page 1 to the final page. It was so good. Now for everyone's favourite game that we like to call Up. These are the books that I completed in the month of February 2025. What books did you complete in the month of February 2025? Let me know in the comment section below. But in the meantime, I'm going to let you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do be kind and love one another, and spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. And until next time, happy reading. Bye, everyone.